The bells toll at Rouen ancient cathedral, but more tourists than worshippers come. This is modern secular France, and the influence of the Catholic Church is waning, which is why the July killing by two jihadists of an elderly priest, Father Jacques Hamel, was almost impossible to comprehend. A painting of Hamel by a Muslim artist at the cathedral symbolizes the will of Muslims and Christians to coexist. In nearby Saint-Étienne-du-Rouvray, where Hamel was killed, this is Sunday Mass at one of his parishes. A shrinking, aging congregation, a church in disrepair. Years ago, as a sign of goodwill, the church gave some of its land for a mosque next door.
There were people who found it a bit bizarre because the land was given to them for 1 franc at a time. It was symbolic, that was all. They gave the land. There were people who said, oh, now we're going to have that mosque and there will be all these Arabs here. That was the thinking, for sure.
The mosque has thrived. At Friday prayers, an overflow crowd sits outdoors. Leaders of both communities are proud of this gate between the church and the mosque. It serves as a vent for concerns, a passage from anxiety to understanding. After Father Hamel's killing, Catholics invited Muslims to Mass, and Muslims invited Catholics to Friday prayers. But in recent years, the common bond of religion to tackle problems has become, at times, a wedge.
In the community before, religious matters were not touched. Rather, we talked about brotherhood. In the 1980s, we talked about racism, economic issues, things like that. It is true that religious issues came into the conversation at the time of the Gulf War. It was then one felt that people became more interested in religion.
There is concern that fears over differences could be eroding the goodwill and giving rise to right-wing anti-immigrant sentiments.
The anxiety with which we are living with inevitably every day is because we are entering in France a period of preparation for the presidential elections. The debates are not always, let's say they are not always peaceful. The invective, the topics are very violent and could injure communities.
In Rouen, those tensions are largely kept quiet. Local officials of the right-wing National Front declined comment, but since the attacks, the party's numbers have gone up in the polls. At the church where Father Hamel was killed, some are troubled by the quiet.
J'ai pas remarqué qu'il y avait une grande colère de la population. Il n'y a pas eu de mouvement, il n'y a pas eu de soulèvement. Les gens vont parler dans les urnes, certainement, en 2017.
A commitment to secularism more than Catholicism binds France today. A light show at Rouen Cathedral draws the city's residents. The challenge for them is how to bridge the differences with a growing minority and keep goodwill and secularism alive. Luis Ramirez, VOA News, Rouen, France.